भद्रं कर्णेभिः शृणुयाम देवाः भद्रं पश्येमाक्षभिर्यजत्राः स्थिरैरङ्गैः स्तुष्टुवागुंसस्तनूभिः व्यशेम देवहितं यदायुः स्वस्ति न इन्द्रो वृद्धश्रवाः स्वस्ति नः पूषा विश्ववेदाः स्वस्ति नस्तार्क्ष्यो अरिष्टनेमिः स्वस्ति नो बृहस्पतिर्दधातु। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। हरिः ॐ।
Dear friends, welcome back to the study of the Mundaka Upanishad. And we were in the thick of discussing the concept of karma kanda, where we create very good virtuous activities in our life here, as ordained by the Vedas. And having done so, we create an adrishta karma phala, which we don't see, but the result of our virtuous acts and deeds helps us, after falling off this gross body, to enjoy in our subtle body the results of our good deeds and acts. Sukriti. That is what we have studied in great detail. It is very much, according to present day concept, very obsolete, very old. It has really no relevance to our society as of today. But we even today find in some parts of India and Nepal, these rituals are very, very diligently followed, with this expectation that performance of these duties correctly, thoroughly, efficiently, precisely will create that karma phala, results of our good deeds, so that we can enjoy a long, long spell in heaven with gods. This is it, and we have tried our very best to understand this so-called ancient, out of circulation ideas in the present day world. We have tried to understand. And just to come to a conclusion, we told you why is the Upanishad describing these yagas and yajnas as it has been prescribed by the Vedic mantras, how it is to be done, and etc., etc. Why? Because this attitude of performance of ritualistic worship takes all your time and energy, and it has to be performed throughout the duration of your life, at least as long as you are in the Garhastha ashrama, before you retire and go to the hills and the forest. Why is it being said so? The Upanishad itself, just like a mother, is guiding you that if you do so, this is the result that waits for you. But that result is perishable in time. It will come to an end after it has paid off its dividends. When your bank balance is zero, you come back to square one again. And if you continue to follow that procedure and methodology of leading your life, it becomes an endless cycle of birth, performance, death, enjoyment, and when the results are over, you are back again to work out your destiny in the same manner. So it becomes an endless cycle of birth and death. Jara mrityum te. That is, you are born, You go to 5 stages of life. During your Garastha period, you create this Sukriti, these good virtuous deeds. You die, you go there, you come back again. This becomes an endless cycle. There's no end to it. Now, the Upanishad itself is drawing your attention to this is your investment. You're investing your time, you're investing your life, you're investing your energy in generating that adrishta karma phala. You don't see it, is not palpable, but it is there and it will give you a result and you will enjoy that result. Wait a while. The Upanishad tells you, think for a while. Is it worthwhile? Life after life, you work hard, diligently, in a disciplined manner, as enjoined by the Vedas. You do so, and it is an endless cycle of birth and death, and period of enjoyment in the heavens. Is it worthwhile? Would you not like to know whether there's any other alternate or not? So now, coming to those two main themes, Apara Vidya Vishaya and Para Vidya Vishaya. Goal where Apara Vidya, not so sublime, but indispensable learning which you have to go through to live in this world and to perform these yagas and yajnas, they reaches you to a particular goal. And you see, it is an endless cycle. I am spending my whole life. In return, I get this. And this is a continuing circle, a continuing cycle. I spend my life's energy, my whole life chasing this. This is what I get. Is there anything that I spend my life, I spend my energy to receive something which is not perishable? Is it possible? It comes to your mind, in your thinking, based on robust common sense. As of today, when you have saved some hard-earned money of yours, hard-earned money, you have saved it, and you have to invest it. What do you see? It must be a secured investment, and it must pay the maximum return. And you say you have invested wisely. Apply that commonsensical approach to this subject. Is there anything? I work hard and I do something. In return, I get an endless result. There is no end to it. Not perishable. It is eternal, everlasting. Is there anything? So the relationship between Apara Vidya Vishaya and Para Vidya Vishaya is being now established by the Upanishad itself. That is, the mother is holding by your hand and she is teaching you how to maneuver through your life so that you can get such a result which is everlasting. Now, in Garastha Ashrama, you are earning, you are able-bodied, you have enough of resources, you can perform this yaga, yajna and karma kanda. And we have studied up to the 5th shloka, where it is said that when you die after this creation of Sukriti, good deeds, the sun's rays welcome you with wonderful, warm, welcoming, affectionate words. That sun's rays takes you to the abode of Lord Krishna, the Lord God among the gods, and you stay there. And how do they do it? They welcome you with great warmth, great affection, great appreciation. Ehi ehi iti tamahutaya suvarjasha surjasya rashmir jajamanam bahanti priyam vacham abhivanto archayanta eshava punya sukrito brahmaloka. Ehi ehi iti. Please come, you're most welcome, because you have performed your duties of life in a perfect, thorough manner. Therefore, we are carrying you with great affectionate care to that abode of Indra, the Lord of the gods, and you stay there and enjoy your life. This is the essential teaching of the 15th verse. Eshava punna sukrita brahmaloka. Though it is said brahmaloka, that means it is one of those perishable states of enjoying the fruits of your diligent, correct, efficient, hard work. But now you see, in the next shloka, the Upanishad tells you, Plava hi esha adrida jagyarupa. Plava hi esha adrida jagyarupa. Ashtadashoktam avaram jeshu karma. Let us stop here. There are four lines. Let us stop at the first 2 lines. Now he says, this type of Yajna Rupa Karma, activities which are ritualistic in the form of a yajna, they are avaram. They are not sublime. Why? Why do you say so? The mantras say you will be reaching there and this and this. What is the shortcoming that the Rishi is trying to draw our attention to? Rishi Angirasha, who will teach us Paravidya Vishaya, the absolute knowledge. Why is he drawing our attention to the pitfalls, the shortcomings, the defects in this type of life? Plava. Plava means vinashi, perishable. The results of these works, these activities, the result is perishable. Therefore, it is not sublime. I am looking for something which is sublime, eternal, absolute, immutable. That's what I'm looking for. This procedure is somehow or other unable to give you that. Upanishad says, Rishi Angirasha is telling you, it is plava vinashina. That is all that you are doing. Ultimately, it is perishable in time. Therefore, it is not sublime. Moreover, Ashtadashoktam avaram jeshu karma. Ashtadasha. You need 18 people to perform it correctly. Apart from those ancillaries, Darsha, Pauramasha, Chaturmasha, Anaglayana, Atiti Varjitam cha, Vishwadeva, and so on. So, those were ancillaries. How it is to be performed? It has to be performed with 18 persons harmoniously, jointly together. Who are those 18? 4 of them are authorities in reciting the Rig Vedas, the home of mantras. 4 of them of Yajurveda, how to perform. 4 of them Atharva Veda, and 4 of them Samaveda. 4 into 4 make 16 experts are needed who are expert in their relevant subjects, plus the performer and his wife, Yajnakarta and his wife. 18. 18 of you will be together and perform all the ancillaries and etc., etc., etc. And what you get in return is not sublime, it is inferior and it is perishable. Plava means perishable. All these adrida means not so stable. Why unstable? If somebody makes mistake of those 18, you have done for. Asaptamang Satya Lokan Hinasti. 5 generations above, 5 generations below, and you will enjoy the curse of non-correct performance. So see how fraught with mistakes it is. Genuine, unforeseen, unavoidable mistakes. Therefore, he says, look dear, look at it from this point of view. Though you are being promised innings in the heavens, though you are promised that way, an innings in the heavens, but know for certain it is full of pitfalls, shortcomings, possibilities of mistakes. And if a mistake arises, everything goes down the drain. You then get what you are aspiring to receive. This is what is the Upanishads telling you. Why? They have migrated from Karma Kanda to Jnana Kanda. And the Jnana Kanda will be the next chapter. It will start in the next chapter. This is all a preparation for Jnana Kanda, knowing full well, so that I don't have a lingering look back to this world. No, I would like to enjoy life in heaven. I would like to. He is highlighting the pitfalls and the transitoriness and perishability of that result. To make you sure and certain, you don't look back, don't have a longing, lingering look to enjoy the results in heaven. Plabahiyeta adrida, unstable. This yajna rupa avaram karma is plaba. It is vinashina. It is perishable. Etat shreyoja avidanti mura. Having been told so blatantly and clearly, even being told if you aspire to enjoy fruits of your actions in heaven, all I can tell you is you are a confounded soul. Mura. Your thinking is still confused. You don't see through that game. Eta Shreya. This is what is good for me. And I think this is the right. Well, if you think so, I am compelled to call you a confused thinker. You are confounded. Your thinking is not on a right track, on rationality, cause and its effect. You are not so. Etasriyo abhijanti, that is, who thinks abhinandanti. He says, this is what I'll enjoy. You are mistaken. That is not for you. Jara mrityum te punar eva apijanti. That is, they keep on going in cycles, jara and mrityu, birth, life, old age, death, a period in heaven, back again. This cycle goes endlessly. And if you think this is the best, I can only say you are a person of confused thinking. Or if you allow me to use this word, you are stupid. Under no circumstances you try to enlighten yourself. This is how Upanishad itself, Maharishi Angirasa, explains to you in detail what is Karma Kanda, and he tells you what are the pitfalls in Karma Kanda, so that you aspire, you desire to know the other way of life and living. He has explained this way of life and living. He has highlighted the pitfalls and the shortcomings. Even then, if you want to live here, know for certain there is no escape for you. You are a victim of your own creation and you will be going in circles. Birth, life, death, in period in heaven, back again, birth, life, death, period in heaven. This is what will happen to you. Those people, those who have chosen to lead such a life, the Upanishad is describing them. Avidyayam antare vartamana. They live in a shell. They live within a cocoon. And what is that shell and the cocoon? Avidya. Not knowing the reality. Unable to distinction between what is real and what appears to be real but not real. Avidyayam antare vartamana. They live within the shell, within the cocoon of ignorance because they refuse to educate themselves. But at the same time, Swayam dhira panditam mannamana. They think we are the wise people and we know what is what. See the arrogance of the ignorant, which we see in our world today. It is there also. I refuse to open my eyes, see things in proper perspective. I don't do that. I dwell within the cocoon or a shell of ignorance. And I am not prepared to accept that I am ignorant. Swayam dhira panditam manyamana. I think I am the knower of everything and I am the wise man of knowledge. That's what I think of myself. What is the end result of this thinking? Janghannamana pariyanti mura andhenaiva niyamana jatanda. You are buffeted, you are baffled, you are ramrodded, as it were, by this life of yours all the time. And you being a blind man yourself, you are guiding other blind people. As improbable as that. A blind man needs to be guided to guide his steps to reach his destiny. That blind man takes upon himself to guide other blind people to reach the goal. As impossible as that. The Upanishad is explaining to you the errors lying in that type of life of a karma kandi, the ritualistic life, expecting the results of my good deed, and I expect it will be eternal. That expectation that I create an eternal value is utter stupidity. What is created in point of time will perish in point of time. It's an infallible law of world nature. The Upanishad is telling you that. Now, there is another aspect. What is the other aspect? That I do not perform karma kanda, but I am very charitable, very philanthropic in nature. What is that? My village or the area where I live is subject to occasional droughts. So I decide I will spend money. That money will be spent to pay to the laborers, and I'll utilize the laborers to dig up a huge water hole, a pond. So, my village and hundreds of my friends in the village will be benefited by a constant source of pure water. I dig a pool, a lake, I dig a well, I plant trees by the roadside when midsummer people can sit and rest. Philanthropic and charitable welfare, which is you are doing good to others, you are not being selfish, you are looking at the self-interest of others, and you are undertaking all the cost and the trouble and the problem. You will be rewarded for your good work. But as because it is being created by your good work, the result will be perishable. What is the distinction there? The distinction is, in yaga and yajna, you are oriented towards your personal benefit. I am doing it to enjoy eternal blessings in heaven. That is why I am doing it. Personal self-interest. Here, philanthropy and charity, it is self-interest. But my self-interest is a means to help others. My money, my planning, my time, my effort is being spent on others' maintenance, and the end result is welfare for the society. I am doing good deed, but I am not so personally, selfishly centered, way above the other. Even then, you are creating good deeds. That good deed will end at one point of time. You come back again. These two shlokas, shloka number 9 and shloka number 10, will say the same thing. Let us read shloka number 9. It is in continuation with shloka number 8. that andhena niyamana jatanda. You are yourself ignorant. You are yourself possessed by lack of knowledge, true knowledge. And you think yourself you are a knower of everything, and you help people to guide themselves. That is what you are doing. That idea is being further exposed in Shloka 9. Avidyayam bahudha vartamana Vayam kritartha iti avimanyanti bala. Avidyayam bahudha vartamana. These people, they are under the influence of lack of knowledge or under the influence of ignorance. But they think highly of themselves. Vayam kritartha iti avimanti bala. They are children. They do not know what they speak. The children keep on babbling away. They do not know what they speak. Such people who are protagonists of, they propagate this karmakanda, karmavada. They do not know what they are speaking. They are within the cocoon of ignorance. Though they are within the cocoon of ignorance, they think they know everything. And they guide others, and they think they know all. So what happens to them? Jat karmino na pravedayanti ragat tena tura shina lokas shavante. They will not listen. They will continue to perform, enjoy that result, and that result withers away. They come back again. Over and over again, Rishi Angirasha in this Upanishad is explaining what is karmakanda, what is apara vidya vishaya. Not so sublime knowledge. What does it lead to? He's explaining. While explaining, he's drawing your attention to the illogicality of your thinking. There you are confused. What is the illogicality? The illogicality is you are creating a sukriti, good virtue, and you think it will last eternal. What is created in point of time by human effort will perish in point of time when it is exhausted. Your bank balance, however fat it may be, will be zero if you keep on drawing and without putting in anything. This is how he is overall hammering away, trying to open up your eyes that this is not the way you lead your life. You do not know how you will be born next life. Make use of this life in the best possible manner. So the shloka number 8 and shloka number 9 is trying, the Upanishad is trying to draw your attention, calling yourself Mura. You are confounded. You are under the influence of confused thinking. Think correctly and properly and come out of this rut. That is what he is trying to do, the Upanishadkar. Then, as I told you, the 10th shloka is about philanthropy. Ishtapurtam mannamana varishtam. Now, acha, I understand. It is totally self-centered. Me and my wife, we are the two people who are doing all this for eternal life in paradise. That's what I am doing. I do understand this is highly selfish. And I'm doing for myself. Let me do it for others. I am not selfish from that point of view. I am converting in my life as a very, very dedicated social worker. I want nothing for myself. I am dedicated to dedicate my life for the welfare of the society. I am not self-interested directly, but I know I am creating good deeds. So I will have results. Will that give me everlasting joy in heaven? Will it? Read the sloka 10. Ishtapurtam manyamana varishtam. They think manyamana with deep insight and cogitation. They think Ishtapurtam. That so-called Ishtapurtam is starting a free school, digging a well, having trees planted, renovate the tank, make it pure drinking water. All these are social services. Ishtapurtam is that social service. Mandamana varishtam. It is definitely better than that. So this must be the best. Nanashreya vedante prabodha. They think this is the best. They know Paravidya Vishaya is the best. They have graduated from that utterly self-centered, selfish interest. He has come up a little, a broader for the society, not for myself. I spend my money, my energy, my everything for the betterment of the society. And that is the best. Pramura, they are also under the same influence. They say there's nothing better than this. Swami used to say, ask a cobbler who deals with leather, he would say, there's nothing better than leather. Ask them, nothing better than social activity. That is what I don't believe in, heaven and God. This is what is in store for me is store for me. And I think that is eternal. No, it is not. Nakasya prishtete sukrite anubhutve. Nakasya prishte, that means in heaven. Sukrite anubhutve, having experienced the good deeds of his life. Imam lokam ba hinataram pravishanti. Vishanti. Either they come back to this human world or there's no guarantee. If his karma is bad, he can be born as an animal. You are not sure because your past karmas will make you take a life which is in keeping with the fulfillment of your past karmas. This is how, dears, the Upanishadkar teaches you. Then he tells about the Vanaprasthis. All this is a Grihastha ashrama. That is from 16 to 50. This is the most active period of human life. Then comes Vanaprastha. What is Vanaprastha? You leave the society, you leave the family, your children are well placed, they can look after themselves, fend for themselves. You do not want to interfere with them. You say enough is enough. Now me and my wife together will lead a life of recluse, of seclusion, where we will be worshipping the divine, though we don't have the tools and tackles and implements, because we are not earning now, we live on begging. So I worship the divine mentally. Upasana. Upasana means mental worship. As for instance, I stand in front of my deity and say, sir, I don't have money. I imagine here is a handful of fresh fruits. Sir, you take it. All mental, all in the domain of imagination and mental activity. That is, you don't have that wealth anymore to acquire all these ancillaries. What you do is, you worship him mentally. Manasa puja. That is, you worship him mentally. You mentally think, you have cooked a good meal for him. Sir, this is the meal I have cooked for myself. This is what I offer. This is what I have got in my bhiksha, in my begging. This is I got for you. Your interaction with the divine continues without the pomp and show, but imaginatively through your mental preparation. Tapas shraddhe je upavashanti aranye. Those who, with tapasya and shraddha, they live in the forest, shanta, vidvangsa, bhakshacharjam charanta. They are shanta. They have gone through that excitement of Garastha life. They are now composed. Shanta, vidvangsa. They are now learning how to go about it. Bhakshacharjam charanta. They live by begging alms that come their way. When they die, because of this life of upasana during vanaprastha, te viraja prajanti surya dvarena. Again, the beams of sunlight, they take them there and they abode there. They are in Brahmaloka. They do not come back. They become subject to krama mukti, gradual. They don't come back again. From the heaven they go to a greater level, greater, and they merge with God. This is what happens to proper vanaprasthis. Let me read the shloka for you, dear, and that will be the end of this discussion, and we are reaching the end of the Ditya Khanda of Prathama Mundaka. Tapa shraddhe je upavashanti aranye. Shanto vidyangsha vaishacharjam charanta. Surya dvarena te viraja prajanti. They become nishpapa, nishkalmasha. That is, there's no dirt in them anymore. And they are taken by there in the Brahmaloka, Jatra Amrita Sapurusha Brahmaloka. They go there and they ultimately, they can't come back. They graduate from there. Ultimately, they merge with the divine. Known as Krama Mukti, gradual liberation. So with this 11th shloka, the whole of concept of a karma kanda, with its plus points, with its minus points, how it is to be performed, when it is to be performed, with whom and by whom it has to be performed, and it has to be performed correctly. When it is performed correctly, this is what you get, as because it is created, therefore it is perishable. Please try to understand and don't be confused in your thinking. All this the Upanishad teaches you. Why? Preparing you for that ground from where you take off to Jnana Marga. Karma Marga, Jnana Marga. Now, In Jnana Marga, you are also active. Sadhana is an intense activity. Karma Kanda is also active. So activity-wise, both of them are same. How do you say, sir, this activity gives you perishable result and this activity will give you eternal result? How is it possible? Karma Marga is an activity. Jnana Marga is sadhana, self-disciplining. I will not do that, I'll not think of that, I'll not that. You are active physically, emotionally, rationally, egoistically with determination. Both of them, the highest common factor is activity. One activity you say will give you perishable result. What type is the second activity that it will give you immortal result? What is this? Come clean. Tell me properly what is it all about. I would not like to remain in this crossroads. I would like to know. Up to this study, the 11th shloka, this is where I am. Let me recount from the beginning. I am a successful, enlightened human being, a grihastha, Mahashalan. Remember that. I have heard that there is something knowing which I live in eternity. I am absolutely poised and ensconced in the majesty, regality, excellence of my own being, and I will no more be a victim of fulfillment of desires running here and there. I will be poised. I've heard that. So I go to my Guru, Rishi, and ask him. Rishi doesn't tell you exactly what it is. Rishi tells you, if you obtain abhinnataya prapyate, if you become one with that object, what is that object? Paravidya Vishaya, Atma Jnana, Brahma Jnana. If you achieve that, by achievement means to be inseparably mixed up with it. That is the goal of life. That will make you absolutely at peace with yourself. Tranquility, poise, steadfastness. No more hankering around. He has explained Paravidya Vishaya. Now he knows psychologically, if I am not explained what is Apara Vidya Vishaya, with its plus points and minus points, if it is not thrashed out clean for me, my mind will occasionally go there. What was that Apara Vidya? I should have had a choice between Paravidya Vishaya and Aparavidya Vishaya. The teacher knows the psychology of the student. So up till now, he has explained to you what is Apara Vidya Vishaya with its plus points and minus points. Now he is concluding, and this shloka I have read to you before in the last class. I would like to read it this time also, so that concludes the second khanda of the first Mundaka. Pariksha lokan karmachitana brahmano nirvedamayat nasti akrita kritena tat vijnanartham sa gurumeva bhigachet Shrotriyam Samitapani Shrotriyam Brahmanishtam Gurum Eva Avigachet. This is the concluding shloka, the springboard, the jumping board to Paravidya Visha, which we will start in the second Mundaka, first Khanda. Let us read it again because this is the most important. Brahmano, those who are desirous of knowing Brahman, knowing means not intellectual, abhinnataya gamyate prapyate. That separateness between me and my true original nature, that separateness will dissolve. I will be one with my true original nature. The Jivatma merges with Paramatma. The Jiva merges with Brahman. Brahmana means a person who is desirous to achieve that goal, not the Chaturashramajat, Chaturvarna, Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. No, dear. That is I would say, segmental. It is secular. Segmental. Partial. That class of people of the society. No. Whosoever has a desire to be one with the Absolute, the person who is thirsty of quenching his thirst by identifying himself with the Absolute, he is Brahmana. That person, Lokan Pariksha, he now sits quietly, he assesses, he evaluates, he plays with the pros and the cons, the advantages and disadvantages. That is parikshana. That is how you are cogitating, finding out the plus points and minus points of both the subjects. And they find that leads you to a particular level of enjoyment when the body falls off. Even in this body. I am very happy, tranquil. Why? I have done no wrong. I am at peace with myself. In this life. Why? You have not violated any code of morals or ethics. This is what it is. Now, you sit on judgment and you see Nirvedamayat. He is no more attracted. Nirveda means he is totally convinced this is not the right path. What is not the right path? The Upanishad explains. Akrita vastu kritena nasti. Nasti akrita kritena. Akrita vastu. The absolute cannot be achieved by finite activity. Absolute cannot be achieved by finite activity and the results thereof. This is the conclusion. After going through all this study, I sit tight and Shaunaka hears and he sits tight and says, now my teacher has guided me and I am now 100% convinced that nothing absolute cannot be created by human activity in point of time. So what do? It's intellectual. I want to achieve that. I want to be one with that. It is much more than intellectual gymnastic. It is much more than academic achievement. It is much beyond philosophy. It is being and becoming. I, as a jiva, I start my journey within myself and I end up in being Shiva. Who will teach me that? Tat Vijnanartham, to undergo that education, that lesson, that teaching, to avail those instructions. Sa, that desirous soul, Gurum eva abhigachet. He has to go and find out a guru. Gurum eva. Who is a guru? He who has the capacity to remove the darkness from your vision, ignorance from your vision. Ajnana timira andhasya jnananjana shalakaya tat padam darshitam jena tasmai sa gurave namah. He will remove the darkness of understanding from your vision and He will give you a new vision by means of which tat padam darshitam. You will see that state. You will experience that. You will be and become that. It is beyond an acharya. And that distinction is being made here. A teacher who is an intellectual giant and he passes his intellectual achievements to you and you are convinced nasti akrita kritena, that absolute imperishable cannot be achieved by these activities of my good deeds. Absolute rock solid conviction. That is what Acharya has done to you, teacher has done to you. But you have to find out a person who has reached that goal himself. He was also a student like you. He has walked through and reached that goal. And he knows every step that he has taken. He has walked that walk and he knows everything about that journey. Gurum eva avigachet. If you are desirous, you have no other alternate but to go and reach your Guru. And who is a Guru? Who has the capacity to remove the darkness from your understanding. How does he go? Samitapani, with an offering. What is that offering? In those days, Guru Ashrama, Guru had 10 or 12 or 16 students. And a Guru Patni was their Mata, Guru Mata. And it was a family. And the Guru and Guru Patni had to look after those students, feed them, dress them, teach them, and they were a part and parcel of the family, did all the household work. All the household work, along with it, Brahma Vidya, with the Guru. So that house has to run. So the secret is, Guru is not supposed to sell his knowledge. He is not supposed to commercialize it. On return, the responsibility of the student is he should not get it empty-handed. He has to contribute something to keep the home fire burning. Samit Pani is a suggestion. You offer something to that maintenance of that family life. If you have nothing, collect some dry twigs, dry branches, and offer it to keep the home fire burning. Samit is the fuel. Samit panim sautriyam brahmanishtam. That's it. That much is what the student has to do. In the last shloka of this khanda, the Upanishad tells you what the teacher has to do, what the guru has to do. Well, it will take a little time. Let me read it for you today, and we'll develop this idea and conclude the study of the Ditya Khanda of the Prathama Mundaka, and with that, the Prathama Mundaka is also over. Tasmai savidyānupasanyāya samyak prashanta chittaya samanyutaya jena aksharam purusham veda satyam provachatam tattvato brahma vidya. This is an injunction on the Guru. The Upanishadakara, Maharishi Angirasha, has told you what is the responsibility of a student. And he doesn't spare the Guru. The Guru is duty bound to pass on his wisdom, Brahma Vidya, Tam Tattata Provacha, not Uvacha. Uvacha means to say, to teach. Provacha, perfectly, precisely, correctly, so that he is able to reach that goal. This is what Upanishad is. It tells the student how to behave. He tells the Guru what is his responsibility, which he cannot shirk. So please let us stop here. We have covered more than an hour. I'll take up the last shloka of the Ditya Khanda of the Prathama Mundaka the next day. And with that, the Prathama Mundaka will be over. And the most difficult part of the study of this Upanishad is over. Because this Karma Kanda area is absolutely so ancient that it is very difficult to explain to a modern mind. Anyway, I have done my very best. It's up to you to now decide. Let us now complete. Thank you, dears. Thank you.
Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Tat Sat.